Today I'm going to be talking about herbs for getting to sleep when you're having temporary insomnia because you're feeling stressed out. I'm specifically going to talk about valerian and passionflower and chamomile today. So valerian's the strongest, passionflower in the middle, chamomile is the mildest. And the kind of herbalism that I like to do, we want to use the mildest herb at the lowest effective dose. The idea behind that is we want to strengthen the vital force. We want to encourage the body's ability to do things on its own. So we want to give the gentlest nudge we can in that direction. Rather than this sort of, we live in a society that loves everything harder, faster, more. So there's this what's the strongest? And I want to take a huge dose. But I think that if you're trying to strengthen the vital force in your body, you want to go in the other direction and see how mild can you go and still get the effect you're looking for. With trying to fall asleep, it's pretty binary here. Did you fall asleep? Didn't you? So I'll start with chamomile. It's the mildest, and so it's the one I would say go to it first. And I really like the fact that it's so easily available, widely available, well known. In fact, I've had people say that they're so used to using it for falling asleep that they have a really hard time using it earlier in the day without becoming sleepy because they've gotten so conditioned to the idea that, chamomile tea, now I'm going to go to sleep. Which, use that by all means. Like if you can get yourself to sleep by having one little sip of chamomile tea, great. Like, why do you need all the other herbs? Cool. So, chamomile, nice thing about it is that it's also reduces pain, reduces inflammation. And so if part of the reason that you're having a hard time getting to sleep is because you have some level of pain or itchiness, inflammation in your body, it'll help a little bit with that, calm that down. That can help go to sleep. And the way that my teacher Michael explained it is so getting to sleep actually requires some energy. Like your body needs to actually go into that state, and that requires some sort of transition energy. And chamomile, by sort of calming you down at this sort of psycho-emotional level, then your whole energy, there's a little bit more available for making that transition into sleep. That's how I think of it. Passionflower and chamomile. So it's a lovely tea, right? And you can use a fairly small dose, and so it's a nice one to do as a sort of tea ritual. Like now I'm about to go to sleep, and I'll drink my chamomile tea, 15 or 30 minutes before, and as I'm sort of winding down, it works really well that way, I think. Then passionflower I've used a lot. I just love this herb. So I always thought of it as, it's muscle relaxer, and generally just, it's a little bit stony. It just kind of makes you feel more calm. And I always thought of it as helping you fall asleep. And then another herbalist put it a different way, that it helps ease the transition from state to state. And this was Patricia Carizzi Howell taught me this, that it can help also with waking up. Like it helps with sort of just getting from here to there. And that can be really useful. I had one client at one point who had experienced a trauma that started while she was asleep. She woke up into a trauma, and so she had a really hard time with sleep, and then also with anything that put her to sleep, because she would fight against it because she was afraid that something bad would happen if she fell asleep. And she really liked passionflower because of the fact that she felt like it let her go to sleep rather than making her go to sleep. If that distinction makes sense. I have used it a lot, and it's one of those ones, I guess, because it can make you feel a little noodly and the muscle relaxer effect, that sometimes people are a little scared of it and say, oh, don't overdose on it. I've taken a ton of this in my time, and my experience is it might make your knees a little bit wobbly, but I don't know if you can overdose on it. I don't know. I don't think so. And so what I'll do with that one is just have the tincture bottle next to the bed and use what's called loading doses. And so this is, so you take like a dropper or two and then wait 15 minutes and take a dropper or two and wait 15 minutes and take a dropper or two, and you'll end up with a lot higher dose in your body than if you just took 6 droppers full all at one time. So that's how I like to use that one. Valerian. Okay, so Valerian tincture was the first tincture I ever made because I used to use a lot of Valerian. And this was when I was in my 20s and I was partying a lot and I had this crazy erratic sleep schedule where some nights I would stay up till at least 2 to go see live music in Austin, and then I had to be at work at 8 in the morning. And so I used Valerian for that. And it's a very powerful herb. Some people are going to have the opposite effect. Is something to watch out for. Some people, after they take Valerian, they're wired and they're not going to be able to get to sleep at all, no matter what. So that's something you want to watch out for. And then the reason that I almost never use it anymore is because I kind of tend toward depression. I very much do tend toward depression. It's something I have to be on guard about, is that I'm not becoming depressed. I have to, it's much easier to avoid getting depressed than to pull yourself out of the pit once you're in it. And it's one thing if you use Valerian for one night, okay, but if you start using it on a regular basis, it can cause this, if you have a tendency toward depression, and which if you can't sleep because you're feeling anxious, you might tend toward depression, it can cause this sort of, I think of it as like molasses depression. It's like this slow, creeping kind of depression. And I didn't connect that there was a cause effect until an herbalist pointed this out to me. I can't remember who it was actually, but once I had that in my head, I realized, oh, that happens to me. Like I could take it once and I'm okay, but if I've been taking it for 3 or 5 days, then I start to have this like dread kind of feeling. So watch out for that with Valerian, because you'll see it in ready-made formulas, sleep blends and everything all the time, and I think that's a little, watch out. So those are 3 herbs that I have some experience using for sleep. Please let me know if you have any more questions, and I'm sure I will be continuing on this topic of sleep because there's a lot to say and it's a widespread problem and very, very important. I think making sure that you're getting enough sleep is one of the most important things you can do for your health. Okay, thanks for watching.